So kind of take me kind of on the journey of your first couple years, getting
Mhm.
licensed. Obviously, you said you came out of the gate, did 30 transactions.
Yeah,
Was
and
it
that wasn't just because of my sphere, In fact, it was because I was being given online leads. So, and I just had a really great conversion ratio
so
because
did you join a team or did you just you
no, I was at a very small brokerage when I first joined, or when I first joined the board, I guess, and started using my license. Um, And they had a program with realtor.com where they were buying leads and giving it to their agents. It was a small brokerage.
yeah,
And I just did really well with those. I do well with meeting people off the gate like that because my whole job at the builder is meeting people I don't know, that walk in the door
right.
for the first time. I have no idea who they are. So I just found that I was really good at that. And so I built my business the first couple of years just on online leads through realtor.com. I
Oh,
did it with them. I left that brokerage after about a year and moved over to eMerge at that
okay.
time and continued to buy leads for a little while there until I got to a point where, my sphere was cultivated and I was getting business simply from repeats and referrals. So,
Yeah.
and that's where I
Did
am.
yeah, I think, and I would assume, like you said, the going back to the new build world, like I tell people, like, understanding the difference between like a Zillow or realtor.com type lead versus a Facebook or a Google lead,
Oh
like
yeah.
there's a difference in that,
Oh,
right?
there's such a difference between all of them. Yeah.
And
Mhm.
some people are way better at the Zillow realtor type,
Right.
right? Where you literally have, like you said, someone's walking into a model. Hey,
Right.
I
It's a
got,
hand raiser. It's like,
yeah,
hey, like I love the hand raisers. I'm like, I got you. Here, let's go.
yeah. It's like you got 5 minutes to
Yeah,
build that relationship,
exactly.
and to get them
Absolutely.
to trust and I want, again, a year of sales training,
Yes.
right?
It
To,
takes
to, to
time.
get
It takes
that part
time.
down.
Yes.
Um,
Same thing with my mentees. It takes them a solid year, sometimes more. Some of them are coming out of careers, and they're doing that transition like
yeah.
you talked about earlier. And so it's not unrealistic to think that it would take sooner than that.
So hitting the ground running, did you always just have success? Did,
Well, I
30
think
deals?
everyone deals with failures, right?
Yeah.
And hearing no and having to learn that. And, there was an online lead who I showed a home to. I remember this was the first time I really felt it in the gut. And it was an online lead that I didn't really have that great of a relationship with, right? But I showed them a home. And then I got a call from an agent that was like, hey, I'm sending you over my buyer's agreement. I'm their agent. Like, yes, you showed them the home, but I'm going to be writing the offer. And I just remember like, oh, punch to the gut. But it happens. It's just part of the process. You gotta hear the no's because you're gonna hear them way more than the yeses.
Yeah.
So, and but again, that's part of the learning process and learning how to manage your emotions with those. Um, but no, we all go through that, right?
Yeah.
Those sorts of failures and hearing no. And, I had a desire early on to create a team. I was like, oh, I'm doing so well with these online leads. Let's magnify that, right? Let's multiply it. If I'm doing so well, I can surely, help other people and get more
Yeah.
leads. And it didn't work like that. I didn't do well with a team early on. I didn't really have a good plan in place. And I think I executed it way too early. And so that kind of fizzled out. And so the Manley group is really just truly Dan and I, my husband and I at this point, and I mentor people. So like, that's where I'm able to kind of pass on knowledge.
Yeah.
But no, I think we all run into failures and like trying different things and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't. There's a million ways you can sell a home. There's a million ways you can run your business.
Yeah. 100%. I agree with that. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Can we go back to just talking about the timeline of building the team? You mentioned that,
Yeah.
it probably wasn't the right
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. I was very,
Um,
just, kind of living in the clouds with that one. So,
yeah.
you know,
Literally on my memories today for Facebook,
yeah.
it has a picture of me 3 years ago with my trying to get my Florida license. And
Got it.
what
Yes.
most people don't know is that Ryan Ryan and I tried to start Florida
Right.
twice.
Right. Right. It happens.
Twice.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work out. And here's the thing, if you're not into it, if your heart's
Right.
not into it, then you're just not going to be successful. But I'd like to talk about just kind of maybe being a little bit too early on the team thing, kind of what
Yeah.
did you learn, takeaways, because I have that conversation now. I'm kind of like you. I like to mentor other agents,
Mhm.
and, some agents just, they come out of the gate selling real estate, being successful.
Right.
And in my opinion, just because you're coming out of the gate with that doesn't necessarily mean you're ready to lead other people. And I
Absolutely.
think that's a different personality. It's kind of
My
like
Yeah, I
I tell
1
investors, there's a personality for buying holds and there's a personality for flipping, right?
Sure,
Like,
yeah,
it
absolutely.
depends on what do you want
What's
to
your
do?
goal? Yeah, what are you trying to achieve?
Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's what I didn't do. I did not really set, like, a business plan or a goal or, like, the purpose. So, like, what's my purpose with this team? Like, what am I truly trying to do with this, right?
Yeah.
I didn't have that, and if you can't answer that question, I think you are absolutely nowhere near to just, that you should start a team at all. Like, you shouldn't
Yeah.
do that. So, um, I was just, like I said, I was just, like, real excited because I had the early success. And, I was telling all my, these, oh, come get your license, do this, do that, meeting people in the network, oh, come join me. And so I built a team of, a handful of people without really having systems and processes in place. It was
Yeah.
just kind of a pie in the sky idea. And so I do try to share that with people. I share anything. I think it's important to be honest and transparent, right? Like,
Yeah.
especially in this society, we show so much about, like, perfection online. And I think it's just so important to be real. So,
Yeah.
like, I'm an open book, truly. Um, but yeah, so I think it was just truly not. I did not plan it out, the right way. I didn't have the right objectives.
Yeah.
It's something that you need
Here's
time with.
here's something that I, picked up from my coach over the last year is, it's what problem do you want to solve for?
Yes, absolutely.
Problems never go away, they just change,
Yeah,
right? So, solo agent, right? What problem do I want to solve for? Well, I want more time with family. Okay, cool. Let me go get an admin,
right.
right?
You
Or
should
let me go get a couple buyers agents or some agencies. Okay, that's
solving
great.
a problem, right? Like, it has to solve. You can't just, like, oh, I want a team. Why? Like,
Right. But even then, right? Okay, well, now
right.
you got 4 people that you're responsible for, and now you got other problems,
And
right?
that is a whole nother stressor, right? Talk about,
Yeah.
responsibility. People are always, oh, you're going to be a broker? No, not at all. My brokers, I have so much respect for them. I love them so much. I could never do what they do. You
No,
know?
they can take my cap money all they want.
Yeah, exactly. I will be a good little workhorse for them.
Yeah, exactly. And again, personality, right? Some
Right,
people want that,
right.
and, other
And they
people, it's like
also
this.
have the questions that they want to solve. They have those
Yeah,
problems that they want to solve. Like you were saying, they have a reason for it and they can see that.
yeah,
And you can grow that and they have a plan. All of those things are super important before you
yeah,
start a team. It's just like starting a business, you know?
100%. 100%. And like you said, you didn't have a plan, you didn't have process, you didn't have systems,
No,
and the biggest thing, from a
excitement is what I had is excitement. It was
well, and you had, hey, I have this success,
right.
and everyone else should be able to have that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just and it's good to be positive and have, hope and all of those things. But also you have to be realistic too. So, but things come with age and time, and sometimes
Yeah,
you learn.
yeah. So you go through all of that. When did Dan come in to the
Yeah.
business?
So
When
it
did he
did.
make that jump?
Right. Well, being successful with small children, that was another problem, right? That came into the picture after, he's a chef by trade. He went to school for that and has a degree in culinary arts, hospitality management. And, he's very good at what he did. He rose to the top of Cameron Mitchell restaurants as the exec chef in Cap City Fine Diner in Gahanna.
Yep.
Um, but he's working like 70 hours a week. So it's really hard to maintain that level of success with small kids. And so there came a point where it was just like really clearly an imbalance,
Yeah.
when you broke it down per hour to what he was actually bringing home. I mean, it was far less than the dishwasher.
Right. Right.
So, his time was just so much more valuable at home and to the business. And you know, he's like a far superior parent than I am. I always tell everybody that. So he's like really needed at home for sure.
And I mean, at the same time, right? Like now you're having all of this success, right?
Sure, yeah, and he is too.
Career.
He's great at what he does, and he
Yeah,
brings another element to. You know, I'm sure people can ascertain I'm like a really lively character. I've got a lot of energy, and he balances me out. You know, he balances the business out and the partnership out in that
yeah.
regard.